So my history with Kerber's Farm probably goes back to the mid-1980s. I was a young kid and growing up on Long Island, actually here in Huntington where Kerber's is located. And my parents used to come here for chickens and fresh eggs and baked goods. And Kerber's represented this really nostalgic slice of the past. You would come to the store. It was a really sort of rustic roadside farm stand, not too different from the way we have it today. And it was just very simple and really beautiful. The history of it dates back to the 40s, and we were fortunate to have some of these images from the previous owner. You can see here an old Ford Woody wagon out front, and this is the store as it is today. This is Mrs. Kerber raising her kids on the farm, and in the back of that same Woody wagon you could see hay and turkeys and chickens running around. So it's got a lot of rich history, and a lot of people felt Kerber's was this really special place, as did myself and my family. So fast forward 30 years later, I was then living in New York City, but would still come home to Huntington to visit my family. And I would drive past Kerber's, which by then was closed. The family had moved away and the kids did not really want to run it. So the property sat blighted, and it was really sad to go past this once thriving, iconic roadside farm stand to see it dark and in poor condition. And as the years rolled by, it became known that the farm was going to be sold off to developers and bulldozed to make way for condominiums or townhouses. And as someone who appreciates history and old things, as you can see by what's on my desk, I was really heartbroken about the idea that Kerber's would be lost. I would get frustrated as I would drive past it that nobody was trying to save this local landmark, this iconic, nostalgic, really special place. It took time, but I was able to reach out to the owners and finally strike a deal where I was able to buy the property and sort of outbid developers, in the sense that I promised the family that I would preserve the farm. It's really interesting because when you drive by Kerber's, and at least initially, all you could really see from the street was the storefront and then maybe the one house behind it. But once I got the tour before I bought it and saw all of the buildings behind it, but I sort of had that idea that, wow, what potential that this property has. It's such a little jewel on the edge of urban sprawl, that this is still here, that there's a couple of acres of property that used to be potato fields or a chicken farm, and it's untouched. And I have the opportunity to restore it and recreate it. So I was able to see the sort of early stages of a vision when I saw all those other buildings, like, wow, could we have a candle shop? Could we have these old barns become part of the story? And it definitely took time. Here we are 9 years later, and we're just about finished with the restoration. But we would do it as time and money would allow. And I remember joking with friends that I sold my Apple stock to buy apple pie. So I essentially sold my holdings in Apple, put everything I had, every dollar, every cent, into this place. And it took a lot of sweat equity to restore the buildings, and of course open the school, which is teaching our mission to students. The first order of business was getting the store open. I thought about, well, if you visited a country store in the 40s or 50s, what would you expect to buy? And so I initially thought of pies, so that's one of our biggest sellers, and homemade jams. So we're doing all of those things here today, which really makes me proud. Welcome to Kerber's Farm, located in Huntington, Long Island. This is the scene that I remember as a child. I am really proud that I was able to buy this and save it, and I would like to give you a tour of what we have going on here. Here we are in the main store at Kerber's Farm. This building dates back to 1941. And you can see we took a lot of love and care in restoring it. Everything from the octagon tiles to the exposed wooden beams that we refinished and painted white. The store really feels like it did many, many decades ago. One of the really great features that we have at Kerber's that we're known for is our pies. All of our pies are homemade using all butter crusts and fresh fruit. This is a Curberry Pie, which is a play on our name Kerbers. It's strawberry, blueberry, and raspberry. Miss Oprah Winfrey put it on her favorite things list in 2019, so we're very proud of this one pie. We have an array of all sorts of other exciting sweet things. Seasonally, we have key lime pie and peach pie, scones, muffins, biscuits. Everything is made from scratch every day. Here are some of our packaged goods, everything from homemade jams to gift boxes, our hot cocoa mix. We package coffee, maple syrup, Our hot cocoa mix actually was voted the #1 in the US, which is amazing considering we're a small shop on Long Island. It was voted the #1 in the US from Pure Wow, and we beat out Starbucks Ghirardelli and Godiva chocolate, if you can believe that. And then over on this side, we have a bunch of savory items. We're really famous for our chicken pie pockets. You can see here, we have an array of different items, both for vegans and non-vegans. So we have a chicken pie pocket, a shepherd's pie pocket, a pulled pork pocket, and a vegan pocket, homemade quiches, mac and cheeses, all things that are super, super popular. So we're gonna head over to the other side of the store. We have a really neat array of curated items as well as our potting shed. So here we are in the other end of the store. This is a really neat spot where guests can sit. We also use this area for potting shed. We grow a lot of fresh flowers on the farm. We have a vintage sink here that I salvaged from a recycling store. I do like recycling a lot of things. These are old ceiling beams from a barn in the back that we restored. These are windows that came out of the Chelsea Hotel in New York City. They were throwing them out, and we have about 15 of them throughout the farm that we use in different applications. These old beams came out of a brownstone in the West Village of New York City. They were, I think, raising a level or something, and they had all of these old growth, really massive beams that I was able to incorporate into the restoration here at Kerbers. So this is a really nice area of the farm where we have the potting shed as well as assorted products. Some of the books that I've written are for sale here. Our handmade candles are down here, and then other things that you may enjoy in your home. So let's head outside into the garden. We're standing here in the backyard, just off the seating area in the store. And you can see there's a really great place to sit. Come here, Frankie. Oh, what's that? Frankie, come here, sit. This is my dog, Frankie. She comes with me wherever I go. She loves it here at Kerbers. She gets to greet customers, get lots of treats, as you can see. It's just great having a farm dog. A lot of the customers love to come see her and spend time with her. So we're very fortunate to have her. Right over here, we have another chicken coop with a few laying hens that get to roam around. So when you come down to Kerbers with your kids, you get to see chickens. Right over here is where they actually lay the eggs. We have 2 warm eggs right here that were just laid, which is really neat. And just off my shoulder here, we have an organic vegetable garden where we grow our own vegetables and herbs. So let's go take a look throughout the garden. One of the really special things about Kerbers Farm is having all different elements of what I call a micro farm. We have organic vegetables and flowers. We also have honeybees, chickens, and ducks. And so that gives us the ability to sort of create this little ecosystem. So we have the honeybees out that way in the field, and they help pollinate our flowers and our vegetables. The honeybees give us honey that we sell in our store and use in our recipes. And then the vegetable garden gives us these beautiful vegetables, tomatoes, zucchini, squash, all different herbs. We use those in the store. We sell in the farm stand, and the scraps from the vegetables then go to feed the chickens. The chickens give us eggs. We have goats, pigs, chickens, and ducks. It's sort of this little ecosystem that it goes round and round. And what we're trying to do is teach that message to students in our school. So we're heading out here to where we have our container gardens and chicken coops, and we'll show you a little bit of that. What we're doing here is our container gardens. This is fresh spearmint, which is incredible. We also have parsley, sage, thyme, rosemary, and then just beyond it is our chicken coop. We have about 200 laying hens in here. Here we are in our main chicken coop. This is still in its original condition. It was kind of nice because I was able to retain its authentic character. And we've built these little boxes over here where they go and lay their eggs. What's great about having different varieties of chickens, we have about 8 or 9 different varieties. They lay all sorts of different colored eggs, so blue, white, brown. And there's nothing like a really fresh egg. You can tell by the color of the yolk and the flavor that it's a lot different than store-bought. And we pride ourselves in having organic eggs. Our hens seem to be very happy. They get to go in and out here all day long. They're free range. They're not in little boxes or cages. And we really think that the quality of life of the hen really affects the quality of the egg that the consumers eat. So here we are on the back side of that same chicken coop. And obviously you can see it's kind of rustic. It's in its original condition. The building's metal, and so, or the skin is metal with a wooden frame, and we believe it's a Sears and Roebuck kit chicken coop that dates back to the 40s. I really love the old heritage and authenticity that this building stands for and is still here at Kerbers. It's vastly different than some of the other buildings that we have that we've restored. These are original buildings that were either used for storage or for chicken coop. Most of that side of the building is used for storage, And then this side is used for a nice vintage looking wood shop, a candle shop. We're now in the wood shop here. It's really helpful to have a fully equipped wood shop on the farm. We do all sorts of repairs in here for the buildings. We also make a lot of our crates, the wooden crates that we use in our gift packages here. So to have a table saw, a drill press and all those tools with all these old buildings is really helpful. We're constantly doing renovation work, restoration work on the various buildings, the store, the old barns and so forth. So this building is, in a specific space is very useful to us. And just beyond that, I have our candle shop. So this is the candle studio. We're really proud of our candles here. A lot of candles that you buy in a store are made with paraffin wax, which is a petroleum product. So imagine breathing in petroleum vapor in your home. And then also the fragrance that most commercial candles use is artificial. It's fake synthetic chemicals. So instead of doing that here at Kerber's farm, we make our candles with all natural products. We use a combination of beeswax that comes from our honeybees, as well as soy wax. This is a vegetable product made from soybeans, and we melt that down. Now for the fragrance, instead of using synthetics or chemicals, we use pure essential oils. So what we do here is we melt wax down in this heater. We mix in the essential oils. It all comes out the spout here. And then we have some neat little tools of the trade, which are spanners and the wicks that we use to assemble the glass with the wick. The spanner holds the wick centered as we're pouring the wax. And then the finished product is a cute little candle like this that we put our label on. These are all handmade here at Kerber's farm. We have 4 fragrances, so we hope you visit the shop, whether it's in person at the store or on our website, and try one of our candles. So here we are in our production kitchen. This is a renovated barn that dates back to the 1940s that we've upgraded for our uses here at Kerber's, baking products and making a lot of really great items from scratch. Nubia, who is standing here with me, she's been working here at Kerber's for, I would say, almost 9 years now, just about since when I purchased the property. And what she's doing is making our scones. Everything is made here from scratch and rolled out. So she's folding in the buttermilk and then adding a little flour to roll it out, and then we'll stamp it to make these beautiful scones. And it's the same practice that we do for our homemade cheddar buttermilk biscuits, various flavors of scones, and so forth. And then if you walk with me over here, what we're doing is making these amazing pie pockets. We essentially roll out from scratch our all butter crust that we use in our sweet pies, and put in the middle our chicken pie filling. And that is a really great mix of wholesome chicken bits, peas, carrots, onions, potatoes, and so forth. If we go down to the far end of the kitchen here, you'll see that we have this, actually 2 very enormous cookers. And what we do with these cookers or braziers, is we use them for making jam. They're enormous, they hold 40 gallons each. And what we will do is fill each of the basins with the strawberries, rhubarb, orange zest, and a little bit of cinnamon. And that really gives it a really nice flavor and something we're very proud of. Next, we're gonna head over to our shipping department. This is where we fulfill our online orders, as well as service our wholesale customers. Kerber's has a variety of products that are sold around the country. We're gonna head over into the dry kitchen where we make a bunch of different dry mixes, as well as ship out frozen pies to customers around the country. So here we are in the same building. We're on the far east wing of one of our big barns that dates back to the 40s, as I mentioned. This building was in really poor condition when I bought the property. In fact, the floor we're standing on was rotted through, and we had to reinforce it with new steel beams, put a floor drain in, pour new concrete out there. So it's definitely a labor of love. This is our dry kitchen where we make a lot of our dry mixes. Kerber's is really known for these amazing cookie jars. It's everything you need to make chocolate chip cookies at home, except for the wet ingredients. So we have these enormous bins and this huge tumbler that we are able to make the different ingredients that go into the jar. We're gonna head over here to see my friend Matt, who's busy working away. We're about to ship out a pie. Kerber's pies are shipped all around the country, and we put them in an insulated box packed with ice, and in a day or two the customer will get it, be able to defrost it and enjoy it at home. So if you're not able to get to Kerber's in person, you're able to get one of these online and it'll be shipped right to your door. Next, we're heading into the Kerbers Farm School. This is probably the one part of Kerbers Farm that I'm most excited about. What I recognized here as Kerbers Farm grew over the last several years is that we have all the components to really teach kids the philosophy of sustainability, organic farming practices, and growing your own food. We have the farm, we have the animals, we have honeybees, and this school serves not only as a classroom, but also as a kitchen where kids can come and pick from the garden, go into the chicken coops, which are right outside there, and harvest eggs, learn about honeybees, and then come in here and cook with those ingredients. So what I've built here is an actual cooking studio. So what we have here is a fully equipped kitchen with double oven, stovetop, refrigerator. And this building is really unique because this was one of Kerbers Farm's original chicken coops that dates back to the 1940s. It was dilapidated and again ready for destruction like a lot of the buildings on the property were, but I wanted to repurpose it. If you're not able to come to Kerbers Farm and take any of these classes, what we're going to be doing is filming the content and distributing it through YouTube and our own website. Some basic classes such as farming techniques, growing tomatoes, caring for honeybees and chickens. We're also teaching container gardening and rooftop gardening. I think the growing problem with food insecurity and climate change, there's a real need for that education. So if we can get that message to younger kids, hopefully they can bring it back to their parents, especially if they're from marginalized communities and they may have missed that message. I think it's really, really important. Places like this, once they become blighted, typically get lost forever. And I think that the fact that we were able to save this and preserve this is something that the community really has embraced. And we've been very fortunate to have the business thrive and be able to renovate the remainder of the buildings. So some of the future plans we have here at Kerbers is really getting our mission out there with regard to sustainability, and the school is the vehicle for that. So we're looking forward to what the next 9 years brings.